McIntyre.
Here.
Trustee Burt.
Present.
And Clerk Triplett here. Thank you.
Thank you. Are there any additions or deletions to this evening's agenda?
Yes. Deletion.
B and C?
Yeah, B and C.
Everybody have that? We'll delete B and C this evening.
Yes.
Are there any corrections to the minutes from the March 17th meeting? No corrections? Everyone's ready to vote on those? And approve the minutes from March 17th, 2025 meeting? Signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Those minutes are approved. We'll move to public comment. If you'd like to address the board, I'd ask that you come to the podium, state your name, and you'll have 4 minutes to address the board.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Dr. Denise Smith Allen. I earned my PhD in Public Policy and Administration, specializing in criminal justice through Walden University, and have been a resident of Genesee County for over 45 years. I worked for the Michigan Department of Corrections as a probation parole officer for 32 years, and I retired 6 years ago. Currently, I am an adjunct professor for the National Lewis University, where I teach online criminal justice classes. While a resident in Flint on the South Side, I served on the Citywide Advisory Council, Flint Housing Commission, Human Relations Commission, Flint City Planning Commission. My husband and I moved to Flint Township 6 years ago. The purpose of my comments is twofold. First, I would like to commend the reports that this body of elected officials representing the township are given by the police and the fire department. I had an opportunity to review some of the previous activities here, and I was very much pleased by what I saw. Secondly, I like to share information. I shared this information about myself after reviewing the video of a township meeting that was held on January 21st. Supervisor Miller discussed filling vacancies and appointments to boards and commissions in the township. She stated, and I quote, "All volunteers, a lot of hard work. Anyone that wants to do that for free, let me know." Perhaps you said that in jest, but in my opinion, the best way to invite your residents to do service could have been handled a little bit differently. I personally find it an honor, and I count it an honor to serve my community. So I'm letting you know I'm available for service. Thank you.
All right.
Thank you very much.
Amen.
Is there anyone else who'd like to address the board?
My neighbors.
Dr. Allen, can we get your contact information after the meeting, please? Thank you.
Good evening. How you doing?
Thank you.
My name's Keith Powers, resident of Township, 68 years. I only have a couple things. I missed a couple meetings and I couldn't find it on Zoom. On the county clerk or the deputy clerk position, you was going to pay $5,000 and raise it to 10. Is that every time she performed or whoever performed the job, or is that just per year? Say they did the job 5 times at $5,000 per time, that's 25 grand. If you raise it to 10, that's 50. But is it year to year? You don't have to answer it now, you can do it when you're talking. Another thing I wanted to, was the walking path. You mentioned, I'd mentioned walkability in the community, and you had mentioned the walking path, which was the old railroad track there. Well, that is more for leisure or recreation, and the township has a sign that is closed in the winter. So that negates that. You can't use it, or not supposed to anyways. But anyways, that's all I wanted to say. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there anyone else who would like to address the board? We haven't seen you in a while, Mr. Roberts.
Pardon?
We haven't seen you in a while.
Took a week off and went down to Gatlinburg for a while.
Oh,
But on the way back, I got my card compromised at a gas station.
Uh-oh.
So they denied my card. You know, you put your card in, somebody copied my identification Sam's Club card, and I got a warning that somebody used it down in Toledo. So, can I start talking now?
Yes, sir.
My name is Gerald Roberts, lived in the township for over 50 years. I had FOIA'd some information from the assessor's office with regard to my property valuation going up at true value last year of about $48,000, and this year went up another $7,000. That was the true value of my property. But yet, in the past, I've fought with the state and had to get, pay money, in other words, with regard to my property taxes and things like that. What I did FOIA is I FOIA'd something that the assessor's office said that they could put an estimate on your property. Now, I'm protected under the Headley, I think it's since about 2000. So they can only raise my valuation, I think it's 5 or 6% per year, or the inflationary factor. But these people that, if I sold my house today, that particular value is cut in half with the SEV value, and that's the multiplier. I guess my question to the board is if the assessor's office can estimate the true value of your property and then take half of that as the SEV value on the new home buyers, does that mean that she's sitting in there, or is she limited on that 6% under the Headley, that she can't raise that particular amount? This one lady over here, when we were over at the Nazarene Church, said that she was paying close to $9,000 over here in Dow Meadows or Dyewood, and yet in Grand Blanc she was paying about $3,500, and she was amazed at the difference in her property taxes. She didn't know if she could afford to live here. I guess my question is, if the assessor's office is able to estimate a value and not go on prior sales like it was before, are those people at the mercy of our assessor's office by just estimating a value and then them being taxed half of that value for the SEV? If it is, it's very unfair. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there anyone else who would like to address the board? No? One more time. Is there anyone else who would like to address the board during public comment? And if not, we'll move on to reports. Just wanted to let everyone know that yard waste pickups started this week. Yes, no, last Thursday was the first Thursday. It's always the first, because our pickup day, our trash pickup day is Thursdays. It's always the first Thursday in April, and it ends the last Thursday, which is usually Thanksgiving. So that means it's a Friday. It's delayed by one day. There's 6 major holidays that delay our trash pickup, and you can find that on a flyer in the lobby there, or you can find it online also. Or you can call into the township and speak with Rose. She has a lot of good information. And so as the weather changes and we're getting ready for spring cleanup, I would just ask that everybody would pitch in, and as you're keeping your yard looking, your lawn looking beautiful, if you would go just an extra foot into the curb line and clean your curb and make sure that the catch basin is uncovered, because you don't want any flooding on your street or on your yard. So if everyone pitches in, many hands make light the work. That's all I have right now for my report. Madam Clerk, do you have a report this evening?
I just want to bring awareness to the board that we did receive a letter. Just want to make sure you guys have it in your email and you've read it. If not, let me know. Also, recently, we have started in the clerk's department cleaning our files, making sure that all our voting records is up to date, making sure all our voting records is up to date, and that everyone that is registered to vote is actually a resident here. So you may have received some mail, and, you know, like, what is this person mail doing coming here? That's because we're in the process of revamping the files and making sure that everything is clean and that everybody that can vote that's registered to vote can vote. I believe that's it.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Mr. Treasurer, do you have a report for us this evening?
Couple of quick things. Everyone on this board and some of the employees know that we're in the midst of an audit by our normal audit through the company, our organization that audits each township that they're affiliated with or business that they're affiliated with each year, and we're in that process. And I have just a couple quick pieces to share with you. We pulled, they're looking for the first quarter, but all I have, just a quick pull from a couple days ago from Chase, we've talked about the sweep several times, and I pulled out the January, Thursday, so that we could talk today and tomorrow with it. And the February sweep, the pulls on those two generated in our monthly was 13,000 and change in the general fund and 14,500 in our sewer and water for that sweep account. So there will be, for the first quarter, it'll be totaled out, and you guys will have a full report that'll come to everyone else. But that's sharing just what the February sweep has brought us since we started pulling that money each and every day at night, and then in turn it gets put back with the interest that earns. So that's just a small amount. That audit is still, on-site audit is still going on. All of us have, Karen, myself, Manya, and Kevin have all been questioned on different things. You gentlemen have had questions as well, and we got a few more pieces to go through, but that's just a little bit of what I wanted to toss at you. And I do have one item on the agenda.
Thank you. Do we have any trustee reports this evening? Yes, no?
Yes, I do. We are going to start our community cleanups again this year. And we are going to do every other Saturday this year, starting out. We're changing the time from 8 to 10. And some of the dates right now is April 26th, May 3rd, and May 17th right now. The sites will be announced on the Crime Watch page, the township website, Ring, hopefully, and there might be one other. So I hope everybody comes out again this year, and just wear your old boots, your old stuff. We get vests, and these little pickers that we use to pick stuff up, and we have water and that type of thing. So I hope we have a good turnout this year.
So we'll provide the vests, we'll provide the pickup, we'll provide the trash bags.
Yep. We just
And we
need you.
provide refreshments, just we need you with good shoes on.
Yeah,
Yes.
old shoes.
Did you have a question?
Barb, let's define community. You say community cleanup?
Yes.
Okay. Do we define that? What
What does that mean?
What
I
does
don't know.
that encompass? Are we talking about the businesses, or are we talking about the
Businesses are
community?
responsible for their own spot.
Okay,
That includes the parking lot, inside and outside,
okay,
and they should know that,
okay.
okay?
So-
But these are just different areas along Flint Township that are a mess. As we know, blight is awful. It's
Okay.
terrible. So we're picking up trash.
But-
Find money, you do get to keep it.
But we're not
It's a
doing
given.
it in the community.
Yes,
I'm talking about in
Okay,
the
we're-
community where the residents in the different.
We're not going into subdivisions.
Okay, that's what I'm talking about.
Very confused.
Some people look at
We've done
that as
some,
being community.
We've been doing it for like 3 or 4 years, so
I know,
Yeah, Gene's
I know,
been
but I'm
present.
trying to make sure that
where's Photoshop?
everybody else understand what page we're on.
Okay. We all good?
You've been present, you had a couple
yeah, so the location will be
Yeah.
identified
Yes.
when the information goes out,
Yeah,
and we
we've
clean
started a
up,
list, yeah.
we clean up places like, the last place, I think we did it twice last year, we did Dutcher Road.
Got your,
There's
Mill Road.
Mill Road,
Mill Road.
great.
Court.
You and I and some other people went out and did Ryan Street. You remember that? Were you there?
Oh, yeah. that-
I think so.
Yeah,
Yeah.
those were some deep ditches.
So that was a quick pickup, but that didn't last more than an hour or two.
Yeah, that was really
Yeah,
quick.
I do remember that one. That was very
Yeah.
fast.
Yeah.
But in a public area that doesn't have like a lot of houses, everyone should be, and I see it with the recycling, and we had a lot of wind last week, and there was a lot of stuff that blew around, but everyone should be picking up their own yards. Every business should be cleaning up their own properties. We're trying to pick up that which pretty much would be like in the right-of-ways of the streets that I know very well that the road commission isn't gonna send someone to pick up trash.
Okay.
So, I've seen, you might have seen too, that, what is it, the, Adopt a Highway, they were out this last weekend. I don't know if anybody noticed. There's some communities that you can adopt a section of the highway and go out and clean it up at your leisure whenever you organize that. You don't need us to organize it, but I know that, we have one spot that was a, what was that called? Adopt a Highway, that was adopted by the fraternity house, but I think they must have forgot. But I know that's available, and we could, we can put up signs and make available other spots along the highway, because it seems to me that I-75 between Corona Road and Hill Road, maybe, Maple Road, really gets a lot of debris, a lot of trash. So we'll work on that anyhow. If you have any questions, look for the announcement, right, Barb?
Or they
Okay.
can even email me too. Yeah,
At what, bvert@flinttownship.org?
that would be it.
Okay,
Yep.
alrighty. Anything, Jenna? Tanisha?
I just wanted to mention that I was in touch with a coworker. She wanted to donate some clothes that she had, and she asked me, where could she bring them? And I ended up calling Enos Foster Center for Children. And I have the clothes in my car right now, a couple bags of clothing that I'm going to drop off to them. But I ended up contacting Enos, and I spoke with a girl there named Sherry, and she was she told me about their foster closet. So I just wanted to give you that information if you ever needed to donate clothes or anything like that. I know you were collecting something for the.
For Cuba, yeah.
For Cuba.
Yep.
Are you still doing that?
No.
or- Oh, okay, good.
Yep, that's-
Okay,
yeah.
so, if you ever wanted to donate clothes or anything like that, Ena's Foster Closet is looking for, especially business-like clothing for, the women that are trying to get jobs and things like that, and they have interviews. So, and then the children, they also need, the clothing too. So if you want to contact me or, contact Enos Enos Center for Children for donations.
Thank you very much. This way, Mr. Leverett?
Okay, good evening. I'd like to just talk about the residents in the community. We know that we've been talking about and trying to address the situation of curb appeal, and in the residential area of the communities, I'd like for us to continue to pay close attention to our lawn mowing, be it done by the resident or some hired company or something. But let's make sure that they don't leave those grass clippings in the street, because these grass clippings create a drain, catch basin problem, and it grows weeds. And we know we don't have sidewalks in the community, so we don't want those weeds to be growing up while we are out exercising or doing the things that we need to do in the community. So I'm looking at that we collectively, like-mindedly, to come together and make sure that we pay attention, close attention to it, because in the future, I'm looking at us to be able to be competitive, to be able to say that our communities are better than another. So let's just pay attention to those type things. And we're looking at a lot of different things. There's been some conversations had about trying to do something. We were talking about having a Department of Public Works, and we know Department of Public Works is usually allocated for cities. So we want to do something for the residents to collaborate with the residents of Flint Township to kind of help things be a little bit more presentable than normal. So let's keep that in mind. Unity, said where there's unity, there's strength. Thank you.
Thank you, Jean. So we're done with trustee reports. We'll move on to staff reports.
Thank you, Madam Supervisor. Since last board meeting on March 17th, the police department has responded to 92 calls. This figure includes 1,244 primary calls, 648 backup calls for service. So on average, during this time period, we responded to 90 total calls per day. Just to highlight a few of over the same period, we had 20 shifts where an officer responded to 15 or more total calls in one 12-hour shift, and 3 shifts where an officer responded to 20 calls in one 12-hour shift. And then lastly, I previously reported to the board at the board workshop about the shooting that occurred on March 22nd, 2025 in the 2400 block of Thornton Avenue involving the pregnant 16-year-old female victim. On March 31st, 2025, the Michigan State Police fugitive team located the suspect, Mario White, a 21-year-old man, at a house in the city of Flint. He has been lodged at the county jail, and he is charged with assault with intent to murder, discharging a firearm at a building causing serious impairment, felony firearm, and domestic violence. The victim is still currently in the hospital, and she is believed to be paralyzed from the waist down, and she is still pregnant with her 7-month-old child. And then I have one action item for the agenda.
So I'm going to put you on the spot here. We had an accident recently, and I want to just lead into it. In the township, we don't have our own DPW. The road commission does our work on the roads. And one of the things that they're doing, and maybe it's across the state of Michigan, maybe it's just in Genesee County, they do these things to the road called a road diet. I don't know if any of you have heard of it. They'll take a 4-lane road and they'll turn it into a 3-lane road. There's such as on Elms Road or on Beecher Road, right? Flushing Road?
In Vance Lake.
Vance Lake. They'll have one lane going one way, one lane going the other, and you've got a turn lane in the center, and you have some wide shoulders. I have been on those roads when people don't like how slow I'm going, and so they use the turn lane to pass. That is not a turn lane. Can you explain to the board and to the residents what happened on Lavelle Road recently?
We had a motorcyclist that, as you had stated, was passing vehicles on Flushing Road near Lavelle, and a woman turning into the turn lane as she was supposed to. This motorcyclist rear-ended her, and he died from his injuries.
He was going fast. I mean, that was a problem, but still doing that, and I've seen it a lot. I've seen it happen a lot, using that turn lane as a passing lane, and it's just, I mean, I'm sure he left his home. He didn't think anything of it, right? That he'd return again, and he didn't. It was just a really bad accident. So I know this is a no-brainer, but maybe for some of the younger people who may be watching, that those turn lanes are not for passing. It's for your own safety and the safety of others. Thank you, Chief Wangler. Assistant Chief Raleigh, do you have a report for us, please?
Yes, ma'am, I do. Since the last board meeting on the 17th of March, fire department was dispatched to 97 total calls. This includes 11 structure fires, 1 vehicle fire, and 1 vehicle entrapment. A couple of the highlights: on March 23rd, 2025, we were called by the city of Flint on 2 separate structure fires for mutual aid. On one fire, they requested our ladder truck. The second fire was just an engine. We were on scene from about 3:30 in the morning till 8 in the morning. On March 30th, 2025, just before 9 a.m., we responded to the 1000 block of River Forest for a house on fire. Crews arrived on scene to find an attached garage heavily involved in fire, with fire spreading to the house. We were provided mutual aid from Swartz Creek, from Mount Morris Station 2, Mundy Township, and Flushing Fire. We were also assisted on that scene by Flint Township PD. On that fire, we did have one of our on-call firefighters transported and treated at the hospital. He was released, and he has since been cleared to return to work. So, and that's all I have for the evening.
Thank you. We don't have any committee reports this evening. I see that the minutes from the work session are listed here rather than just above it, so I'll ask if everyone's had a chance to read these, if everyone's, if there are no corrections, all those in favor of approving the minutes from the board work session from March 24th, signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed? Those minutes stand approved. Thank you. We move on to number 8, Mr. Treasurer.
Thank you. All of you should have received by electronic and/or hand. You can take a look at the bill payment history. My motion is to approve the payment of the invoices in the amount of $94,473.66. In addition, we acknowledge the payment of invoices and tax distributions again in the amount of $6,305,496.83, as these are authorized by the board's purchasing policy. That would be my motion.
Is there a second to the motion?
Second.
Are there any questions for Mr. Treasurer? Any comments? No discussion. Madam Clerk, roll call, please, to pay the bills in the amount of $94,473.66.
Supervisor Miller?
Yes.
Trustee Amadou?
Yes.
Trustee Burt?
No.
Trustee McIntyre?
Yes.
Clerk Triplett, yes. Trustee Leverett?
Yes.
Did I get everyone?
Myself.
Lisa? And Treasurer Clee?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You've already talked about in your report, correspondence or informational items. We will move on to new business. Action item A is to purchase a new rooftop unit. Well, when it comes to HVACs, we have not had luck this year. This will be the 4th one we're replacing or repairing, and because the building official thought that the first estimate was very expensive, I thought it would be prudent, after we just replaced 2, to get estimates, and you have the estimates in front of you, and we have that last rooftop unit to replace, and a motion would be in order to move forward.
Upon review, Clee would suggest that we accept the Goyette Mechanical in the amount of $11,993 to replace that unit, and that quote is the lowest of the 3. The other piece to that is Goyette has been doing a lot of the work here and doing a lot of assistance to square this away, so I would move that we accept their bid as they're conscious of what they have to be involved in.
Is there a second to the motion, or any questions or discussion? No?
I spoke with Stuart this afternoon twice about this, and our conversation was the fact, as we just stated, Goyette's been around and has been on the roof multiple times, so we need to make sure that it's done right. That's all I have to say.
And it's the least expensive
Correct.
of the 3 estimates.
Of the 3 estimates. Yes,
Okay.
ma'am.
Because of the amount, Madam Clerk, roll call, please.
Trustee Leverett?
Yes.
Trustee Amadou?
Yes.
Treasurer Clee?
Yes, ma'am.
Supervisor Miller?
Yes.
Clerk Triplett, yes. Trustee McIntyre?
Yes.
And Trustee Burt?
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you. What's next? Action item T, Chief Wrangler.
Thank you, Madam Supervisor. In your board packets, all board members should have received the letter that I had written. To summarize, the police department has 37 police officer positions in our 2025 budget, and currently we have 3 open positions. The Flint Township Civil Service Commission, in compliance with Act 78 of 1935, has provided the name of Adam Gilly to be reinstated. Subsequently, he has been presented with a conditional offer of employment based upon a list of contingencies, which you should have also received in your packet. I am pleased to recommend the hiring of Adam Gilly to fill one of these open positions. Mr. Gilly resigned from our police department on February 28, 2025 to seek a career outside of law enforcement. For different reasons, he wishes to return to our department where he served as a patrol officer for 5.5 years. When he resigned, he informed us well in advance of his reasons for leaving. And just to remind, Act 78 of 1935 allows the Civil Service Commission, at their discretion, to allow an applicant to be eligible for reinstatement if the applicant has resigned from the department within 2 years. Mr. Gilly has successfully completed another physical examination, drug test, and psychological examination. He's also successfully passed another pre-employment background investigation conducted by Lieutenant Nemechek. Mr. Gilly worked for the Flint Township Police Department from June of 2019 to February of 2025 and was most recently assigned as the school resource officer at Carmen Ainsworth High School. I recommend the hiring/reinstatement of Adam Gilly. With your approval, I would like him to return to the fifth year patrol officer wage effective tomorrow, April 8th, 2025.
Thank you for that recommendation. Is there a motion to move forward?
Clee would move to accept the recommendation of the police chief, Brad Wangler, on the rehiring of Officer Adam Gilly effective tomorrow morning at the fifth-year patrol officer wage.
Is there a second to the motion?
I'll second
That's
it.
it. No problem.
You get to pick.
Does it matter?
Leaning back.
Everybody's in agreement, right?
So
Okay,
we
Jen, we'll go.
have a motion and a second. Is there any question or discussion? I'm glad he chose to come back home
Yep.
and not go somewhere else.
Yep,
I know
too.
how difficult that is. Alrighty, any further discussion? Hearing none. Madam Clerk, roll call please on the motion to rehire, reinstate Officer Gilly at the fifth year wage rate effective tomorrow.
Trustee Amadou,
Yes.
Treasurer Clee,
Yes, ma'am.
Trustee Leverett,
Yes.
Supervisor Miller,
Yes.
Trustee McIntyre,
Yes.
Clerk Triplett, yes, and Trustee Burt.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you, Board.
Thank you. Action item E is, we had this on the agenda at our last regular meeting,
Right.
and the board had some questions, and we didn't have answers at that time, so we've brought it back. And we also have Amanda Bradford, who's in the audience, and can you come to the podium? I don't know if you prepared a report or you just wanted to answer questions. I know you reached out and you're interested in having the farmer's market again this year in our parking lot from, is it May to October? October. And they're not every Saturday, they're every other Saturday. And you post that on social media so people can know. And they're out in tents. Does anybody have any questions for Amanda?
I think the one,
I do. How many vendors do you have that set up in the,
I can take
Farmers market last
15.
time.
15 is the most that I've had. As the season progressed last year, the more came. I know at one point, when we first started out, we were only like 6, 7, but it did get busier as the season went on.
okay. And what kind of items do they offer for sale?
I have a lady who comes in with honey that her and her husband do. There's a lady who does soaps, like homemade soaps. I had a lady who does sourdough bread. I do baked goods because I do that on the side, besides being a physician at Hurley.
In your spare time?
In my spare time, yes. I also had somebody who does like, kind of like the owl jewelry. She came. I had a couple other people who made homemade things that came as well.
So I know we had forms that we helped you with that you pass out, and I know we also talked about if anyone needed electricity. Now, we made it available. I'm not sure how many times anybody needed it.
Used it
Nobody
last
ever
year.
used it. Okay. And I know the question came up a couple times, maybe you had a food truck come and visit.
Yep.
And we've had some conversations here and there. We have an ordinance that protects the brick and mortar buildings in the township,
Okay.
where you can't have third-party sales, but we have in the past, for special events, allowed food trucks. Like Harley Davidson had a celebration party, they had one, and people have grand openings, they'll hire caterers or a food truck or whatever, and I think we had the conversation, and I'm not sure where we left it at as far as allowing the food truck. The person,
The gentleman that I had come, his business license is through Flint Township. It has his address here in Flint Township.
and did you have, was he planning on coming to each,
To come for the whole season
the whole
this year.
season? Any other questions this way?
Go ahead.
I just wanted to say that this was really nice. It was trying to get it going, and you've really stepped out. It's really been nice. We've had people with plants and flowers, salsas, and sometimes it might change a little bit. But I think it's a really good thing, and the food truck was very popular. And I just hope it just keeps, so it gets so big we have to move it.
Yeah, that's
the plan.
that's my goal.
Yeah.
Any further questions this way? This way?
I'd like just to make a comment. I was out there, and I think it was really, really nice. And if the weather would cooperate, I think it'd be even better. And as well, but you were prepared. I had a cup of coffee out there,
Yep.
and it was quite cool. So I thought it was really nice. So we just need to participate more.
And so the hours will be
They'll be from 10 to 3 every other Saturday.
10 to 3, and if it's bad weather, really, really hot, you guys
It
have
will be
closed
closed.
a little bit early. Okay. Anybody else have any other questions?
I think the biggest issue is the food truck. No offense to the client whose address is Flint Township, and for special occasions that we have protected the brick and mortars. I think, I don't know, I'm thinking this as a special event type thing. We may have to look at we may have to look at an amendment or something to our ordinance to allow us the special events. I don't want him to be penalized.
Talk to the building department.
Right, we would have to talk to them about that. I like the idea, I saw the truck. As long as, you look at the food trucks, and the brick and mortars complain when it's sitting in an empty parking lot, and they're right next door, trying to sell a burger or whatever it might be. And when those things fire up, they sure do smell good, and it draws you right to them. So I just, I don't want to hassle anybody in that respect.
We'll check with that, for sure. Any questions? Nope. Madam Clerk? Alrighty. Did you have anything else you wanted to tell us? I think we've grilled you.
Is the $100, that was the other question, is that $100?
I never picked it up.
Yeah, it just sort of hangs out.
I just left it here.
She
Okay.
left it here.
And so it's that is gonna roll over, and we're just good
Yes,
with that, and we don't have,
roll over.
okay. Because I circled that, I'm like, ooh, did we ever give her $100 back?
Yeah.
She told me if we ended up planning on doing it next year, I could have the option to leave it here, and I thought I would just leave it here.
And as far as electricity,
Anytime that somebody would pay me, I would just bring it to
Sure.
the office, but I
If you
didn't
ever
have
need it.
anybody
Okay.
last year.
alrighty.
So the $100 is for the cleaning?
In case
there's a.
deposit, in case we ever needed to do that. Okay?
I also check on them every Saturday.
Yeah. Alrighty. So a motion is in order to move forward for the summer of 2025 farmer's market?
We would move to accept Ms. Bradford's proposal for the township parking lot for the farmer's market this summer with a cleaning deposit of $100 and an electrical usage of $20 per user and an approved event permit,
Okay.
per stated.
Is there a second to the motion?
I second.
Any questions or discussion on that motion? Hearing none, all those in favor of approving the 2025 farmer's market activity signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? None? Thank you very much for being here.
Thank you, Amanda.
Thank you.
So our next meeting is April 21st at 6 PM, and if there's no further business and without objection, we'll call the meeting adjourned. Thank you.
And we certainly like to thank everybody for coming out.